Wow, I guess that's why they were the champs, eh? But they lost half their team! How are they still good? Dude, I don't know. Who would have thought a team with Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane, Patrick Sharp, Marion Hossa, Duncan Keith, and Brent Seabrook would be good?
You ready? Big news. What? Whoosh. Seriously?
No pigs yet.
What? What was he doing? Wow. Bring him on. Beautiful.
It sounded an awful lot like sarcasm. Leafs lose 5-3 to the Chicago Blackhawks. And one of those scores that doesn't really do justice to how much the Blackhawks dominated. I just hope the Leafs on the bench were taking notes. Guys, slow down. I'm trying to take... Okay. Be really crazy good. Okay. Just a minute 10 into this one. Not covering Marion Hossa is a bad idea. And the Blackhawks are up 1-0. About 3 minutes later, not nearly as big of a name as Hossa, but he certainly deserves some respect. Michael Frolic makes it 2-0. If you're going to have giveaways against anyone, shame on you. If you're going to do it against the Blackhawks, why? And I think the giveaways, maybe the ugliest of which was Carl Gunnarsson's, were just a result of the Leafs trying to out-Blackhawk the Blackhawks, which is not gonna happen. Yet, mind you, you never know what they're building towards. The speed the Hawks have is sick, and if you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. And after that game, the Leafs needed ointment. With about 5 minutes to go in the first, blazing in and making a few moves, Jonathan Toews says, "Hi, I'm Jonathan Toews," and scores his 27. Now, here's a question. Toews coming into this game, 10th in NHL scoring, 6th in faceoffs. Where does Toews rank in the best all-around forwards in the game? Where does he rank with forwards that'll kill you at both ends of the ice? So the Leafs completely outclassed by the Blackhawks in the first period, and they go to the second with a 3-0 deficit. I would love to hear what Ron Wilson said between periods, because while the Leafs are in playoff contention, while the Leafs have played like a playoff team of late, no. And I saw some comments that said, well, this is why the West is just better than the East. Okay, but what about the Western Conference teams the Leafs beat? This was just a case of the Stanley Cup champs putting on a clinic. About halfway through the second, after having a horrible first period, Joffrey Lupul goes Hulk smash, steals the puck, blazes in on his own, and scores on Corey Crawford, his 8th of the season, 3-1 deficit. I like what Kessel and Lupul have done together so far this season, but I think they're going to be even better next year. Because here's my thing. I like Lupul's speed with Kessel's, but with all of Lupul's injuries, there's no way this is as fast as he can be. Just a few minutes later, though, and why didn't I put money down on this? Before the game, who was everyone saying, oh, what if he scored?
Wouldn't it be funny if Victor Stalberg scored?
No, it would just be tragic and common because every former Leaf scores on the Leafs when they play them, and that's what happened. Leafs fans that miss Stalberg don't feel too bad. Because look, Stalberg has crazy size, amazing speed, but that was his 10th goal, not bad, and his 20th point, giving him 6 points in 27 games in 2011. Now, I haven't exactly been watching every Blackhawks game, so I can't make an assumption. Maybe his role has changed. Things didn't work out for Stalberg in Toronto. Last year was a nightmare, so hey, wish him the best of luck in Chicago. It's just interesting that Stalberg, Philippe Parody, and Chris DiDomenico were traded for Chris Versteeg, who was then traded for a first and a third, and then that's going to turn into something. What that something is, I have no idea. Welcome to the Burke era Leafs. Well, we will certainly find out. And with the Leafs down 4-1, I think I can give you the Coles notes of the rest of the game and get to a more important topic after. Ryan Bickle scores to make it 5-1, and James Reimer does not start the third period. I don't think it was his fault, but he's been playing a lot of games. He's going to play the next game, apparently, so hey, I guess why not rest him when the game's over. In the third period, the Leafs managed to fight back a little bit. Joey Crabbe scoring his 2nd of the season, assisted by Luke Schenn, and then Luke Schenn getting one of his own with a blast. That's how I talk now. And in a chance to maybe kind of sort of get back into the game, Mikhail Grabovski robbed on a penalty shot. And by the way, this Corey Crawford guy, much like James Reimer, didn't come out of nowhere. Commonly referred to as the American Hockey League. And with the Hawks seemingly letting off the gas a bit in the third, the Leafs end up losing only 5-3. Could have been much worse. But what I want to say is to kind of re-emphasize what Ron Wilson said after the game. They're not going to, and they were never going to, run the table. They're in the playoff hunt. You gotta win, but you can't win them all. The way I look at it, if you're going to lose a few more games over the rest of the season, one of them might as well be against the Blackhawks. Toews, Kane, Sharp, Keith, I did all that earlier. So with the Leafs getting spanked for the first time in a while, let me ask you something I always ask when they win. Can they? I've asked you before, but a game has passed and it was a loss. Has your answer changed? Add me to LeafSpace.com, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter, and let me know.